This is how my business made $32,763.21 in just 72 hours. In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the exact marketing funnel that I built and used to generate these results. I'm gonna cover the numbers involved in the business, from revenue to profit margins to employee wages, transaction fees, Facebook ad costs, and everything in between. I'm gonna discuss the single biggest challenge to running an e-commerce brand at this scale. And I'm also gonna discuss a few things that I definitely could have done better, what I can improve upon, and how I plan to do so. This video is going to give you a ton of insight into my business, my strategies, and my methodologies. So if you guys could do me a huge favor right now and just hit the like button, it's greatly appreciated. And if this is the first time you've seen a video of mine, welcome to my channel, and don't forget to subscribe before you head out so you get notified of videos that I upload 2 times per week, always really high quality, just like this one. With that said, it is time to get into the biggest aspect of why I found really great success over the past 72 hours, my marketing funnel. All right, welcome to the funnel. So this is the exact marketing funnel that I built and set up and had running during those 72 hours to generate over $32,000 in revenue. So I want to take you through all of the various aspects of this, make it clear if there's any confusion, and really make sure that you can utilize some of the strategies I used here in your own marketing campaigns. So first, I want to get started with Facebook ads, and I'm actually going to show you the real Facebook ad account and the range of dates here. So this is the Facebook ad account that was used. As you can see, it didn't track all of the revenue. It shows 28,000 generated in revenue here, which is pretty accurate. There's about $1,000 to $2,000 it didn't track. So the return, let's see what the return was. Let's say it was 30,000, which is pretty, I would say, accurate. 234, so about a 2.26 return on ad spend, which was very profitable. My break even is 1.3. So as you can see here, I had a bunch of cold CBO campaigns running at pretty high budgets, $750 daily, $525, $210, and I was scaling up leading up to this weekend. Using automations, I was doing 30% scales, 30% descales if the criteria didn't meet. And if you're interested in seeing that criteria, I made a post showing my exact automations in my Facebook group. So go check that out if you're interested in the automations. But this is a pretty simple setup I used, very clean. I sorted it by return on ad spend, and this is what I want to show you here. So all of my cold traffic is making up the bottom portions of my return on ad spend. Once we get into the warm traffic, I had a 4.12 return on ad spend, and then the hot traffic, 8.28. So now let's jump back over to the marketing funnel and show you all the different aspects of this. Actually, before we do that, I want to show you the Google ad campaign that I'm running. So it's just a basic search campaign, and I do have it sorted by all time just so you can get an idea of what the type of results Google AdWords can generate if used correctly. So I spent $633 on Google Ads, and it's generated over $6,500 for a return of 10.32 on my ad spend. So now let's hop back over to the marketing funnel. As you saw in my account, I was utilizing a lot of cold targeting. I excluded my 7-day click of view content and 180-day purchases. This ensured that the only traffic in those CBOs was cold traffic. And the reason I do 7 days is if someone hasn't engaged with my brand for 7 days, they can go back into that cold traffic because I know they're not warm, they're not hot anymore, they're not like right there ready to buy. So I drop them back into the cold targeting after 7 days of not engaging with my company. I had one campaign set up for interest, and these are just random interests I was using, literally everything from Netflix to beer. Like I was just launching interest the whole time in one CBO. And honestly, I saw no issues with like the relearning factor of CBOs when I was doing this. I really am not sure if it played a huge aspect. Maybe I would have had a better return on my interest-based targeting if I would have created separate CBO campaigns the entire time. The interest campaign gave me a 2.12 return on ad spend. But overall, I'm very happy with the interest campaign that I had. So it was just one CBO. Then I was running a ton of different CBOs for every lookalike source. So for example, initiate checkouts, purchases. They each had their own CBO campaign running at, I believe I started at a $400 per day budget, would scale it up. And then there was a couple days, like on Thursday night, I bumped my budgets from $400 to $750 to $1,000. So just dramatic, very, very intense increases on the lookalikes. And then I had a demographics CBO campaign set up here. And what I did here is I broke it down by ages. I knew there was a couple age ranges that were just performing overall better, but my pixel at this point was pretty optimized. I knew Facebook had an idea of who my customer was. So I just launched demographics to the 4 main countries, US, Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, broken up by age ranges, 18 through 24, 25 through 34, 35 through 44, etc. And honestly, it didn't perform that well at all. I had one profitable age range, so I did shut that off. It's definitely worth something investigating in your own accounts. And it does work a lot of times. I will relaunch this campaign down the road once my pixel is even more optimized. Demographics is always a good way to get new data on new potential customers. So this is the cold traffic targeting setup that I had rocking, and it was wonderful. Very, very happy with the cold targeting on my Facebook ads. Next up, we had the warm retargeting. This is the CBO I showed you that performed around 4 ROAS. And I had my 75% video viewers, excluding 95 and excluding view content, engage, etc. 95% video viewers, excluding engage and view content, etc. And I just had one CBO of a budget anywhere from $50 to $100 per day. I left the automation rules on, so it would up by 20 to 30% every single day that the ROAS was above 2.5. And if the return on ad spend ever dropped below 1.5 over the previous 2 days, it would drop 20%. And this worked out great. These automations just kept my retargeting CBO campaigns profitable, and it worked very well. So that is how I had my warm retargeting set up. Finally, we had my hot retargeting. This is where anyone that viewed the content, initiated checkout, added to cart, and took an action on my website was placed in this CBO. And honestly, I didn't need a CBO for this because I only used one ad set that contained view content, initiated checkout, and excluded purchasers. At the time of this launch, those custom audiences were very small. I tested it with a traffic objective. Traffic objective is good for reaching those small audiences, but it didn't perform for me. So I figured I'm going to stack these. I know it's a hot audience, and I'm just going to launch it with the purchase objective. And as you guys saw, an 8.22 return on my ad spend with that. Snapchat ads, not going to run this again. They perform terribly, so I didn't even pull it up. I only spent $50. It is an opportunity if you create very native feeling Snapchat ads, like meme format, story format. I didn't do this ahead of time. I actually launched these in the middle of the day on Friday, and $50 spent, no return, at least that I know of. I could have picked them up in this retargeting setup, but probably wouldn't run Snapchat ads again unless I was a very well-known brand like Nike or even like High Smile or something like that. Google ads though, I showed you guys, this is a tremendous, yes, do set up Google ads. I had search terms set up, so whenever someone searched the brand name of my brand, the product name, a competitor, I would be the first one to rank on Google, and I had a 36% click-through rate, what did it say, 14 return on ad spend. So set this up from the point that you really start any sort of scaling with your brand. Search terms on Google Ads is amazing. YouTube retargeting. So I listed this here because I actually created the campaigns. I created the video content for the YouTube ad. It never got approved. Launch your Google ads as far in advance as possible. I launched them 8 days before this, and they still weren't approved and through the review yet. So Google ads take a very long time in review. Google ads is a tremendous opportunity. So now that you understand this side of the marketing funnel, let's start digging in a little bit. So as you see the Facebook traffic, I captured 2 different custom audiences before they even left Facebook, and that was my 95% video viewers. I did capture the 75% too. I didn't put that here to take up space. And then the engaged custom audience. And this is anyone that engaged with your Facebook page, your posts, engaged with any aspect of your business on either Facebook or Instagram. They're going to be dropped into this custom audience. So I captured these 2 custom audiences before people even left Facebook. Once they click through on the ad, they get taken to my store. Here they view the content. If you land on the store, you let the content load, you're placed into my view content custom audience. So I utilize Klaviyo here to show them a pop-up. I usually never use any sort of pop-ups on my website, but I figured I'm sending so much potential traffic that might convert to my store that I should collect as many emails as possible. So I put up a pop-up after 60 seconds or on exit intent that offered a 10% discount in exchange for their email. And as soon as they enter their email, it shows them the discount. They don't even have to go check their email for the discount. But what I did is if they didn't check out, I would say, hey, send a welcome email. This is a little bit about us. This is how this brand was created. This is what we do. This is what we specialize in. Like, welcome, we're happy to have you here. That sort of email, not selling anything. Later that day, about 10 hours later, I would send a view product flow. In Klaviyo, you can install their pixel on your website and it tracks your product pages and your products. And it can send automated emails like, hey, we saw you view this product. It's selling fast. Here's a discount or anything like that. And that's what I set up, and I believe this generated like $230 in sales. So it generated extra revenue, which is never a bad thing. And also it's free revenue at that point because you don't have to advertise to them again in your custom audience on Facebook. This is what I had set up for my view content, and then the view content custom audience, which got placed in my hot retargeting campaign down here. Next up, we have the initiated checkout. I didn't put add to cart because the way that I have my website set up, when they click add to cart, it actually just takes them to the checkout page. It doesn't load the slide or anything. So a lot of times, I would say about 50% of the time, the add to cart pixel is not tracked correctly. So the initiate checkout gets fired essentially always when they click add to cart. And this is the setup I had. So as soon as they type their email and their phone number, I had an SMS bump, a bandit SMS flow set up. This was insane. Let me pull this up for you. So this is my SMS bump analytics overview. I've spent $12 on automations and have made $4,500 for a return on my investment of 36,000%. This is unreal. It is 100% something that you should utilize for your own brand. Once they abandon their checkout, 1 hour after, they would receive a text saying, hey, this is blah, blah, blah from my brand. We noticed you forgot something. It's gonna sell out quick. We're running Black Friday sales, etc. Here's a link to go back to your cart. And then I included like a friendly GIF. So a GIF would be sent to their text and be like someone waving or smiling. This generated the most revenue. And then I had a follow-up. If they didn't purchase within 10 hours after that first one, they would get another text saying, hey, like we are literally almost sold out. Here's a discount. We just want you to become part of our brand's family. Once again, a friendly gift. This flow right here is so simple to set up. And as you saw, $12 spent, $4,500 made. If you're not using it, you're losing it. Obviously, I had a custom audience set up here that I would use in my hot retargeting. That's straightforward Facebook custom audience. Initiate checkout. And then I had a Klaviyo flow, kind of the same setup as SMS bump, 1 hour, 10 hour, and 2 days. So once again, I would start with, hey, you forgot something. Here's a link to your cart. Offer a small discount at the 10-hour phase, and then finally offer a slightly bigger discount saying, hey, there's like hardly any left in stock. So 10-hour might be a 10% discount, 2-day might be a 20% discount. Let's say they complete the initiate checkout and they make the purchase here. All the purchasers get put into a Facebook custom audience that is excluded from all of these campaigns. It's used to generate lookalikes, just tremendously valuable data that you get from these purchase custom audience. I had a new customer flow. So a lot of people don't use any type of email flows for new customers because they don't think they can make more money off of them. But ultimately, these new customer flows give you a chance to make more money, gives you a chance to build a reputation, build a friendship with that customer and a relationship with that customer, and you can show them how to use the product. And that's exactly what I did. I sent an email that included all three of these in one email. An upsell saying, hey, welcome to the family. Here's a discount. If you want to pick up one more, you have 10 hours to use this. Then I would say, thanks again, blah, blah, blah. Include an instructional video at the end of the email that I personally recorded showing them how to use the product and how I use it. This is becoming more and more important, especially in the eyes of Facebook. And when someone makes a purchase from an ad on Facebook, a few weeks later, there's going to be a little survey pops up on their newsfeed saying, how was your experience? This is going to make sure that they rate you good. I highly recommend these new customer flows. And then finally, there's another chance to make money, and that's with a post-sale upsell. I implemented this on the last day, so I implemented this on Sunday, unfortunately, but it's been performing well. I think I use Reconvert is what it's called. It's a thank you page. It shows their order receipt, shows where it's shipping from. and then you get a one-time offer of a new customer offer, like 40% off, something insane that they cannot resist. This is the flow that I had set up. This is my remarketing campaign. And once again, go get this diagram, save this, print this, use it as your screensaver, replicate what I've done here because it worked very well. There is a link in the description to a downloadable, printable PDF file of that exact marketing flow and structure that I just showed you, completely free. So make sure to go download that. All it's going to ask is for your email, and then you get immediate access to save it, print it, and utilize it for your own inspiration and building out your own funnels. Now it's time to break down the numbers. I want to talk about the revenue, the profit, and all of the costs associated with a brand at this scale at this time of the consumer holidays. So once again, let's hop back into the computer and start chopping down these numbers. Welcome to my business's analytics. I made myself as small as possible here so you guys can see all of the numbers. And as you see up here, it's a date range set from Friday until Sunday. So let's start breaking down the numbers and show you guys the revenue, the different transaction fees associated with this level of scale, and overall the profit. I had a total of 356 orders, $32,763 in revenue, $11,133 in cost of goods. Cost of goods here is showing you guys the exact cost of my products plus how much it costed me to ship to the customer. Customers used $1,800 in discounts provided, whether it was from Klaviyo or my retargeting campaigns. This shipping cost is completely incorrect. I really don't understand why this is here. Maybe it's just associated with the cost of goods, but just ignore this shipping cost here because that's not right. So my gross margin after taking the cost of goods out of my revenue is 63%, which is $20,743. Wouldn't that be nice to just pocket, right? But then again, we have transaction fees and we have Facebook ads costs. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So we had $806 in transaction fees. So this includes what Shopify takes out of every credit card transaction and what PayPal takes out of every transaction. So $800 is a lot of money. And that's why I said I never use the instant transfer, because I don't want to give PayPal any more money than they're already taking. Handling fees, I didn't include this. Once again, this is considered in the cost of goods. Refunds, I only had one refund in this time period for $42, which was great. My average order value, this is what really drove my margins here, was $92. Average order profit, $58, and the average lifetime customer value is $70. Obviously, the goal with any brand is to up this lifetime customer value number by recurring orders, recurring subscription fees, etc. And that's something I really do hope to incorporate once I'm fully private labeled and custom manufactured with this product. Now it's time to see the number that everyone's been waiting for, and that's a net profit. Overall, I spent $13,729 in ads throughout this time period. I spent around $38 per order. So every order that was generated, this is around how much I had to spend to create that order. My net margin was 21%, and my net profit for 3 days was $7,000. I want to talk about this net margin and show you guys a few areas where I saw some improvements and I made those. So if we come up to the 29th, what you're going to see here is I had a very low net margin. So leading up to this day, my net profit margins were anywhere from 25% to 35% on a daily basis. What happened here though is I'm like, hey, it's Black Friday, I need to take advantage. I bumped my average ad spend by 200%. So my daily average ad spend was around $2,500 leading up to this. I doubled it. And so what happens with that? Your CBOs become unoptimized. Things start spending in places they shouldn't be, but I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity Black Friday presents, so I just launched it. And that did cause my profit margins to shrink. So on the first day, I made $1,800 in profit. Let's go over to the second day, and I can kind of show you what I started improving. Around the same number, same net profit margin, same ad spend, but what I did at the end of this night is I had enough data to accurately gauge what was performing and what wasn't, what ads were working with what audiences, and I would kill the ones that weren't working, scale the ones that were, and so forth. This day generated $1,644 in net profit. Now let's take a look at Sunday. So this is once everything's re-optimized. This is once I know what audiences are working and where I really have everything narrowed down at this level of ad spend. This day, I did $3,500 in net profit, 28% net profit margin, slightly lower ad spend than the previous days, and a revenue of $12,600. This huge jump was due to the fact that everything optimized and I knew what was working and what wasn't. And this hopefully is where it remains moving forward. But this is proof that CBO does need time to optimize even at large amounts of scale. You do need to be on top of things, killing things that aren't working and letting CBO do its thing. So that is the numbers for my business over this 72 hours. And I'm gonna hop back out of my computer. I wanna talk about the single biggest challenge that I really saw come to life at this level of scale. It wasn't something that I necessarily had a challenge with myself, but it was always in the back of my head because this is something that will cause a world of issues for you: cash flow. Let me explain why I view cash flow as a major point of failure that you really need to prepare for. So over the course of 3 days, Friday until Sunday, my business generated $33,000. Now remember this. It was from Friday till Sunday. The Shopify platform only releases your payouts on business days, Monday until Friday. I had a balance of $27,000 sitting in the Shopify platform waiting to be released to my account. On the other hand, a lot of my customers decided to use PayPal at checkout. PayPal offers two different methods of transfer. They allow an instant transfer where they take up to $10 off of your transaction to your bank account. I already give PayPal enough money through my transaction fees and the associated costs, so I always neglect that option and I go with their standard transfer, which takes 1 to 3 business days. I had a cumulative amount of around $31,000 sitting in the Shopify platform and PayPal combined. If you can't see where the issue lies with this, let me explain a little further. All the meanwhile of generating this revenue, I was paying Facebook up to $4,500 a day for advertisement. And their payments aren't put off until weekdays. So you pay every single day. So I was making payments up to $4,500 every single day to Facebook. I had Snapchat ads, I had Google ads every single day being charged. I had employee wages. I had product sourcing costs, which was in thousands of dollars every single day. If I didn't have 2 credit cards with a decent amount of line of credit or the amount of money set aside to cover those costs, my entire business would have needed to be put on pause until those payouts were released. What I want you to prepare for if you are thinking about scaling to this level, or if you have an opportunity to scale to this level, is make sure to get your LLC, make sure to open up your credit card limits, make sure you're prepared if Shopify decides to hold your payouts, if PayPal puts a lock on something. You need to be ready for those situations because they do happen. There are precautions you can take to prevent that. Make sure you are running a legitimate business. You do have a verified LLC. Get verified by PayPal. If you are serious about running a business like this is something that you should already have done. So if you haven't yet, you need to jump on that as soon as possible because cash flow is a major point of failure for those that aren't prepared for it. And being at this level of scale really brought it to life and really showed me how big of an effect cash flow can really have on the success or the failure of your business. I want to talk about a few things that I could have done better and how I've already made the changes to grasp the opportunities that I missed out on over the past 72 hours. When it comes to the results, my profit margins, and just overall how everything went over the past 72 hours, I'm generally pretty happy with it, but there's always areas to improve. And the 2 biggest areas of improvement that I need to make and already have taken action to make is my email marketing and the library of Facebook ads that I have ready to go. The majority of businesses generate anywhere from 10 to 20+% of their annual revenue from email marketing, whether it's email retargeting, talking about campaigns coming up, discounts, etc. Email marketing is a huge aspect of running a profitable business. I did have some decent flows set up, ready to launch on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, hit people with retargeting emails. But my biggest area of improvement was I really don't know how well those performed compared to what I could have had them performing at. And there's a way to find this out, and that is split testing. And this is optimizing your email campaigns. So in the future, and what I've already started doing is creating different variations of my email flows and the content in my emails and running split tests. Klaviyo is great with this. It can automatically split test emails for you and show you what performs the best. If I would have had this running, I honestly probably would have made a few $1,000s in the past 72 hours, would have upped my profit margins. But hey, this is all a learning experience. The only way to get better is by improving upon upon what the mistakes you made. And this is one of the mistakes I made. I didn't have my email campaigns optimized. So this is something I've already taken action on and something I feel is very important moving forward. Next up is the ad library that I had available, ready to drop in and refresh my creative. So when you're running at this level of scale, hitting 500,000 to 1 million people per day on Facebook, your ads will hit some level of fatigue at some point. Although luckily I did create a new winning creative 3 days before this scale that I performed, so my ad wasn't fatigued. But if I would have had 2 to 3 more winning creatives ready on deck, I could have dropped them into the campaigns that needed a little bit of a boost where I wasn't seeing the performance I wanted. I could have had more retargeting ads, and ultimately it would have increased my return on ad spend. I recorded a few more ads today. I'm editing them tonight, so I will have those ready. I am taking action on it. It's just a heads up. Have like 5 to 6 winning creatives that you haven't run yet, ready to go to drop in to prevent audience fatigue, audience saturation, and ultimately improve your chance of winning the auction competition in Facebook size, because they can show different creatives to different people based upon what they think will perform the best. These two aspects are very important to generating the front end and back end revenue of your business. Overall, I hope you guys found this very helpful, very insightful into how I did $32,000 in under 72 hours, the mistakes I made, what I improved upon, and ultimately what you should be ready for when you reach this level of scale. If you haven't yet, make sure to drop a comment of some sort. If you have any questions, any comments, any tips for future videos, or any requests, I will answer all of the comments in this video. Go give me a follow on Instagram at Dylan Business. Join up on our Facebook group. It is growing every single day. I think it's almost at 300 members right now. It's very active. I'm reading every post that comes through there at this point in time. So make sure to go join. The link will be down in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Dylan out.